All right, leadership class. Mr. Smith here, and thank you for a little bit of time. I had meant to try to find a way to come down and talk to you, but scheduling it right now is a nightmare. So I know you've had conversations, and I with Ms. Punches, I've asked her to sort of introduce to you the possibility of doing some modifications to our court system. Um, Tradition is great and so on. But at times, possibly change needs to happen. So I'm coming to you looking for ideas um, because you've been around and maybe you've seen some things from other places. As a football official, I get to see how other people do their courts and things like that. I think some changes need to be made. And so here are some issues that I'm actually going to switch over to the other slide that I sort of, because I'll talk about each of these topics, so to speak, on my next slide. So, but um, one of the things that really has bothered me in the 8 years or so that I've done this is that our system is a straight popularity contest, and that's all. That's fine and all, I guess to an extent, but I'd like to see us, a little more substance. Okay, things like do we add requirements and so on. Um, and but anyway, like I said, I'm going to flip to a next slide here. And one thing, I'm going to give you the opportunity to give some feedback. If you have a complaint about something, that's okay, but you also need to prescribe a remedy. Okay, so, and again, this is what this is for. I'm going to give you some opportunity to give me some feedback. Here is sort of my vision of possible vision. The first thing I will say is there is nothing here set in stone at all. Again, I've had a lot of time to talk or think about this, and again, but maybe you have a better idea. Okay, so here is what I sort of envision. Again, it's just an idea, and maybe with your feedback, this vision either maybe you like it, and as a whole, then we move to the next steps of possibly implementing it. Maybe there's somewhere in between, but anyway. One, I would like to see court become a senior-only activity. Do away with the underclassmen. Sorry to the underclassmen, but for a couple reasons. One is the investment that underclassmen have to make, and then they can't win. I mean, they're in many cases they're just a showpiece for the day. The other part of it is, again, going back to this idea of a popularity contest. I've done the math. I've gone through a number of courts the last about 10 years, and about 90% of the time, somebody who gets on court as an underclassman is on court again as a senior. So removing them as an underclassman does not eliminate their opportunity to do it as a senior. Most of the people who do not make it, if they've done it as an underclassman, as a senior, usually it's because they moved. So they left our school, and so that's why they didn't make it the second time around. So I don't feel like we would be eliminating anything if we were to remove the underclassmen and make it a senior-only activity. I do think at that point, though, we would probably expand the court. Right now, we're down to what? Well, we're down to basically 8 per court because it's been 4 boys, 4 girls. I think in this case, I sort of look at going to 6 seniors and then 6 seniors. Again, both courts. So again, that's just a number. I guess actually going down here too, though, I wonder if we're at the point, and not to get into a whole lot of politics, and right now with the whole gender issues that we have, I don't want to have a fight over gender and whether we should or we shouldn't, but maybe we're at a point where we do a court that is sort of genderless, so to speak, where it is possible to have 4 boys and 2 girls, or whatever the combination is. One of the things that would change in this vision is that, so we select 6 seniors to be on court. Those 6 seniors would then pick the person who walks them, okay? And I think it would be really neat to see our 6 seniors be escorted by a parent or some person in their life that is important to them, and not do so much the couple thing and so on. Again, if y'all like the couple thing and you want to stick with it, we probably can. Again, this is just a vision. Maybe it's not a popular vision, but anyway, one thing that definitely will continue is we will continue to have the opt-in process. Okay, so people will have to do the little application thing that I have them do. In the past, we've done it the other way around, and then we've had people, who have been selected on court and not want to do it, and so then we waste votes and so on. So we're going to still do the opt-in, but I do at some point want to put some sort of there should be some minimum requirements in my mind, whether it's a GPA, whether it's on pace to graduate. I mean, actually, I think that definitely should be one. If you're not on pace to graduate, then you shouldn't be on one of the courts. That's possibly citizenship to a point. That may be taken care of if we threw in some teacher selections. What I mean by that is I do know that one school in our area, the teachers actually select who is on court, and then the students then go the next step and select, king or queen or whatever. So I think that we could deal with some of this GPA graduation citizenship thing if we took the people who applied, so to speak, to be on court. Again, the application, I'm not going to make anybody be on court. That's why the application thing. If you want to be on court, apply, and you can do it, or maybe do it. So we take the application, so to speak, we throw them in front of the teachers, maybe a committee, I don't know, and I can figure that out later. Then the teachers can whittle it down to, to the 6 or whatever the number ends up being, and then we go from there. So. And even then, if it does just become a senior activity, do we allow it? Maybe it just becomes a senior vote for king or queen or whatever we're going to call it. Again, like I said, though, this is just a vision. It means nothing. There is, again, it does not have to go this way. These are just things that I've been thinking of for a number of years. So here's what I have done. Let me find it. Is I've made this. This form. It's a Google form, and so if you would go in, please give me your name, because if I wanted to talk to somebody, get some further information, maybe you have a really good idea, and I would like to discuss it with you, like face to face. That's why I do want you to give your name. I have places for 3 thoughts. Okay, please explain. Please use complete sentences and all that stuff, so I understand. As thorough as you can, so I understand what you're talking about. If 3 thoughts are not enough, feel free to go back, come back into the form again and add more thoughts. Okay, for now I just put 3. So I'm going to provide this link. I'm going to provide a link. I'm just going to post this on YouTube, and I'm going to give this link to Ms. Punches and the link for this form here. And if you could, within the next week or so, 2 weeks maybe, give me some feedback, and then we'll go from there. If there is some reason at a point where I really feel like I still do need to come into 7th hour, I think it's 7th hour, maybe it's worth really carving out the time. But so anyway, your information or your feedback is welcome. Sorry that this took 9 minutes, but I appreciate the time.